Hello, welcome back. It's been a while. Gonna try this again. First stop is where I put my glasses. This is great. This is a fantastic start, isn't it? Hang on, bear with me. Put the glasses down somewhere. I've no idea where they are. Literally where? Right. I would say I'll see if I can go without them, but it does get on my nerves when I don't have my glasses. Give me 2 minutes. Well, they're not to be found, sod it. Right, I'll just have to go without. Not around my desk, are they? Not on my head, no. Yeah, sod it. Right. Fantastic start. So, yeah, I can see fine, it's just astigmatism. So, I'll bring up a diagram to show you what we're doing. So, the black line here is the route as we know in Westcountry 3. So down here you have Paignton. This is obviously a diagram. You go through Rodwick Down town centre and then on to Stoneleigh. This is like where the steep hill is, the crawler lane. You got Blue Water Cove. And this down here, you'd normally come off here, go into the holiday park, up. This used to be the roundabout, now the traffic lights. You go along the petrol stations back here. So if you're following what I just said, we were going to bypass the town with a new road. I've not built this new bypass road yet. All I've built is up to here, where you can see we're putting the zoo. We're relocating the zoo to here. And this road down to here, that's all I've done. We've also got this branch line, which will go off onto Paignton. So the idea is the 12 will just go straight through as it is at the moment, whereas the 122 will come up into the zoo, go down into the holiday park, then down to beaches, whatever, and then rejoin the main route. Does mean bypassing the town centre, so maybe we'll just come up a bit closer or something. I don't know. We'll get to that. But this gives you an idea of what's going on. And where we are at the moment is on the right-hand side of that image. So this would be where you used to come down into the holiday park. The roundabout would be, I don't know, here or something, and then you'd go up. And this is the junction here, as you know it, with the petrol station in the background there. So you'll notice that the holiday park is gone. We do have some new assets, which we have acquired, holiday park assets. So, you know, the holiday park's getting a rebuild. The way I'm doing this is I'm working on things route by route. So at the moment I'm working on the 12 corridor. So we've already updated Stoneleigh, but we're not working down there today. That can be for another time you see that. And I'm trying to keep things as close as reasonably possible. I do appreciate that I've just completely ripped up this, because the dual carriageway used to go along here, meet up down there, and I've added a whole new thing, whole new neighbourhood. I mean, yeah, but whatever. So yeah, it's one of those. If I can run you through it, actually. So this bit, you know. And as you can see, the houses on the left have been replaced with a train station. Yes, again, it's something that's been knocked down, but I kind of felt like, since Rodwick Down is like a touristy sort of place, it's kind of like, I don't know, like Wadebridge or Padstow, something like that, or Braunton on the north coast. It ought to have a train station. We've got a new train station object, which you can see here. We do have a pedestrian overbridge, but as this is like a bay, end bay, you know, you don't have the bridge. This I've fleshed out. This just used to be empty, because the idea was people who wanted to do their own virtual bus company could just tart it up themselves in a map editor of screenshots. No one ever did, so I've made it functional by turning it into a garage. We'll look more at that another time. And as for the crossroads themselves, I've just rebuilt the crossroad from, well, not from scratch, but I used the old one as a template to try and keep it close to the original as possible. Buildings on the right, buildings on the left I've kept, but the buildings over here were really awful, so I've replaced them. As you can see, a lot of this has stayed the same, although these buildings probably get a bit of a zhuzh up, being replaced by similar models but newer ones that look a bit better, perhaps, I don't know, or maybe I'll target the texture, not really sure at this point. Obviously new bus stops, as you can see. So working on through, used to be a bus stop here, it was tidied up again. This is a primary school object, and I've replaced the old garage with a new garage object, so I haven't got around to doing this bit up yet. Go for a bit more. Not done much here, as you can see. That's as you remember it. And this is the other end of town where the bypass comes onto, so that will go around the back and then back to that junction where we were at the start of the video. We've got like a little retail park here, not really sure if I'm happy with that. Might downsize it a little bit to like a supermarket and a couple of drive-throughs or something, maybe, I'm not really sure. So the buses will come in onto this frontage road here. This is just residence access, basically. Follows the contour of the old road. And then this is more or less as you know it, although I have tidied it up a bit, put better scenery on. I've updated the road markings because they were incorrect before. But that there is largely as you remember it. I won't go past here at this point in the video. That'll be for another day. So this gives you an idea of context, basically. So you just go through here along the bit which is basically the same, through this which will be vaguely familiar, onto here, out the other side, and then this is where it changes again to here. So it's basically the two ends of the town, the east and the west portals, is basically what is radically changed. The centre itself is more or less the same. I've got a new build housing estate, of course it's Shyster Homes, and we have some under construction objects which we can use now, which are here. So that's like an estate that's under construction still. This is the start of the bypass road. It goes through a residential area and then it breaks out into the fields at the back there. Not actually built that yet, not started on that yet. This is the zoo here. The layout isn't final, it's just something I quickly threw together. However, this bit will probably remain as it is here. But it is just a quick sketch, so it will be that building most likely. This will most likely be the same. However, I'm thinking that I'll put a little roundabout here the road going up there, and then this will be where the car park is. Add a little coach parking area, and then just get rid of this whole side. And then this will just be a normal road, not just access for the zoo only. Because at the moment this is the zoo zone road, but I might just turn that into like a public road. But yeah, so the zoo's back in. And that up there is just an old building, which we've not used in the last couple of versions of the map. So I need to put it. So it's not very well detailed, but it's a decent enough object. So it's perfectly serviceable as a background thing. So it's going to be like in a set of apartments up on the hillside up on the top here. The rail line, so we have the train station as we see here, vaguely similar to Barnstable, I suppose. So it goes out, and this is where the holiday park will be. It'll only be on this side of train tracks, won't be on both sides of the train tracks. It'll extend down to here. So the idea is, as I said, the 12 go through as it is at the moment, but the 122 will come off into the zoo. And it will go just through this little residential area. And back over. For the reason that if you go into the zoo and then back out this way and then go into it'll just feel like you're just messing around and farting around and going back on yourself a lot. I don't like it particularly when routes do that, when maps do that, when you're going back on yourself a lot. So I think if you just go back through residential area, it makes it a little bit more interesting. So the idea is then this will be the holiday park here, and we'll go along the front along some beaches or something, I don't really know, and then join up maybe here, I don't know. The only trouble with that then is it means the 122 bypasses a town centre, so not really sure. If it comes back up here, then it would just be a loop of the caravan park. It won't really take in anything else. But we'll come to that. It's not really something I need to concern myself with right now. So what we're doing today, so that was just an overview, for curiosity's sake. So what we're doing today is pathing this up. Not particularly interesting, but nobody knows really how to do it. Well, it's something that a lot of people ask how to do. So we'll crack on with that now. So, as you can see, I've built the roundabout. It's non-functional. If we go into the traffic view, there's no paths or anything like that. There are some paths over here, but these are just helper splines I've put in for now. That's just what helps me build the layout. So, you make up your junction using splines, objects, whatever, decorate it out. You want to get as... the way I'm doing it is I want to get everything in as much as possible and then do the pathing at the last possible minute. And I'll show you for why soon. So we'll get the Invis Street spline, and we'll start it. Where is it? Oh, bugger! I've selected this one over here. Okay, right. This is a big spline, so I tend to accidentally click on it. So go back into there. Street, that one. There we go. So put that there, and we'll set that to 0.15 just to make it easier to see. We'll set them all at 0.15. So yeah, I need to know the space in between these. I think it's 2. Yeah, it's 2. So I know that these are 2 meters apart from each other. So this will be the reference point, because this here, this spline, we know that's 2, 2, 2 and 2. I can't remember what the distance between those is. I think it's 6. So it means that because you have to do this in a track, because when we open the crossing editor, we won't have a model to look at. The paths will just be floating in midair, as it were. So you won't have any reference to any of this, because the pathing is done in a separate program. So you need to do these Invis splines as like one track, as it were. So you go around the whole thing in a loop and everything like that, and then you just basically copy it into the thing. Because if I do this, and have another one over here starting, we don't know the coordinates of what that is over there. This is our reference. We don't know how to start a new spline all the way over there in the crossing editor. Bit of a weird explanation, but hopefully it becomes clear as I do it. So for now, we'll just put all these in. Okay. So that's 600, that's 650, so halfway between the two will give us 625. That looks good. A lot of this is just trial and error. Yeah, that's good. That one is 131, that one is 133, so we'll set this to 132. That's decent enough. So these Invis Street splines are just basically a reference. We will be, you may decide to delete them. I reuse them. So you see here where the tarmac's a little bit darker, whereas here the tarmac's all just one flat colour. So I turn these into what we call weathering splines, where it's got like a slightly darker patch down the middle. So I do reuse those. And that is straight. So I'll set that straight to about the same. And that is 30 and 203. 30, 203, that's a little bit tight. So what we'll do is we'll open this up a bit. That's good. 53, 203. That was already 203, so we'll put 73 on that. Then we'll open this up. 20. Yeah, OMSI is very much trial and error. I'm using I'm using OBS, but with the way things are working now, just while I'm here, I'm not entirely sure. Let me just check the stream because there's nothing coming up. So yeah, that's fine. So if I'm ignoring you, it's just because it's just the way OBS does it now. Right, 166,415. So 166 minus 4. What was it? 455? Did I say? No, 415. Oh, these splines here are just helper splines I use. So I've got red on the left, green on the right, blue down the middle. The powerful on it just helps me lay the things out, lay the junctions out. And that is 30, 40. So that needs to meet, because we do have an object down here, so that needs to meet up to that one perfectly. So if I do that, and this will not meet up, as you can see. So what I need to do is modify this. So right, so because the layout of this is changed, this I haven't updated yet, so what I need to do this is interesting. if I do this, then I can 8, 7. Oh, so it's 7 apart. That's a nice round number, like so. So when we come to updating this junction, we know that we're moving this over to here. That's going to be a tricky one. I'll figure it out when I come to it. So that's 10. And that is 200, 500. Nice easy one. We'll open it out just a little bit. 50 minus 150. 50 minus 150. Looks good. And this is minus 27.35. Minus 27.35. Open that out. Minus 29. That's good. 29. Cool. Right. So as you can see, we're going in like one long track. So when we go into the crossing editor, we just do that, then that one. Basically in the same way we've been doing this. And we've got to make sure that we're using nice round small numbers, because the crossing editor only works to, I think, the 3rd decimal place. So you can't use complete 2 because that generates integers which are too long. And what will happen is then each value will be slightly out. So they'll effectively be out of sync. So when you put your object in, it won't all line up. So you need to do this as accurately as possible using nice round numbers. Okay, and the way we do roundabouts now is, rather than having a ring of paths and then tacking other paths onto that ring, we don't do that because that means that traffic can basically just circle endlessly. They won't do what you want us to do. So we basically make sure that we have like a dedicated path. So this will come around here, then we'll have another one which comes around here, and will not interact. So there won't be a way for the one to come from that and join onto this path. So that one can only go to there or wherever else we just tell it to go. It cannot join like a ring. So it'll just be independent routes, as it were. A little bit more tricky to set up, but it does mean that your AI will behave much better. Again, not explain this very well, but you know. Right. So if that's 10, this will be what, 15? Yeah. So the joins in between these, we've got to make sure don't come close to here, because we can't have the joins too close to each other, so that traffic can't jump from one onto the other. So if I make that a bit longer and then open it out a bit, yeah, looks better. Just trying to work it out in my head. So that's minus 568, so we're doing minus 570 for that. And we'll bring this one back a little bit. Like so. And that's 20 minus 155. 20, 155. And then that is 50 minus 570. So that needs to line up. This path here needs to line up with the path on that perfectly. So what we'll do, let's do this. then that could be our reference. So it's like 50 minus 570. So we'll pull this back a little bit. Oh, no, I was right. And then we'll... It's a very fiddly job. There we go, that's lined up. So now we can go over to here. This is going to be 0, 0, 0 here at this point. We can start a mid-air for this one because we know that's going to be 0, 2, 0. Sorry, 0, 4, 0. So that's 51, 600. 51, 600. And I know that one's going around only to that lane. They could join this, but we can add this in a crossing editor because we don't really need reference for it because we will have a path there later. We can just join them up in a pathing editor. Actually, we can carry on with that. And that was 3145. 30 minus 145. And that needs to be tighter than that. Bring this back. What did I say for that? 17. So when this comes over to here, as you can see, that the is joined there and joined there. So there's no way for this traffic to continue round onto that path. If there's a join here, exactly where this crossed, in theory traffic could go from that and then jump onto this. So if we make sure that the segments cross like this, then there's no way for the traffic to cross from one to the other. And what I'll do is I won't do that as a parent. So what we'll do here is we'll give traffic a chance to... So this needs to branch off a bit further back here. Yeah, so that's 10, 17, what was that, 5, 6, 7, 8 meters. So we'll start this over here. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we'll worry about that one in a minute. We'll parent that one. 50 and 40, so minus 45. And that's going to be about... This one is 370. Yeah. None of this is pathed up with an object. These just use helpers. So I don't have to worry about lining up with this one, because this is going to be part of our object as well. It's going to be one big junction. So, for example, this going to over here, we don't need to put helper spline in, because we can quite easily work out how to get from that to that in a crossing editor. We don't need a reference for that. Just checking. Yep. Okay, good. So this roundabout is going to be an absolute pain in the backside. Ugh! So use these as a vague reference. 3157. $35.103. 7700. 70 minus 700. And then that one is 20, and that meets onto a spline. No, it doesn't. So we'll end the object here, and then we can do another invis object up here, and then just connect the two with invis splines. That way there's a bit of flexibility, so that if these two objects are out of sync, we can just fix it with splines, basically. Just makes it a bit simpler. So that one is just straightforward. 20. And if we do 2, since Altenaut Strasser compatible. And then we'll go about that way, so 15-ish. No, 15, actually we'll deparent it. So that's 2767. 27. No, that needs to be up a bit more. That's more like it. Tuck this in a bit. 14103. So do 12. Oh, last 23. 13. Yeah. Actually, we'll just push it on. Type that in a bit. And not having my glasses is starting to bother me. Where are they? That's really... you know what? I'm going to have a little bit of a look for my glasses. I'll be back in a sec. On top of the lamp, because of course they were. So I know I'm not explaining what I'm doing here very well, but hopefully it'll all become clear. So I want this to go over there. So we tuck this in a bit more. Oh, I can actually see what I'm doing. And tuck that in even more. That is 23. There we go. That is 1339. 1339. That's the same basically. As that one branches off, we'll deparent this. That needs to go out a bit actually. So we'll pull this back. And then tighten it up afterwards. Yeah. That, I would say, yeah, it's a lot of trial and error on this. There we go, I think I got it. So that is 13 minus 25. Deparent it. Come on. Actually, no, I'm going to pull that back. It's more like it. God's sake. Why is that snapping to the wrong thing? Oh, I see. There you go. Try again. And that one is 3058. Okay. 3058. We're getting there. And that is 568. So, that's parented. So I'll take that off. I'll put it there. So basically, so that what I do here is just temporarily move that out of the way. And I can line these up like so. It's not a perfect match, but it's close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. So that's 88.43. So get a calculator. All clear. 88.43. Take 68, and that will give us the value for what we're doing here. Which is 20.43. 20.43, and they will line up. There we go. And I can take the delta H off that. It all lines up nicely. Right. So, so what I need to do now is create a path that goes to over here. Right. If I unparent that, pop that back there. And what do we say for that 570? Like so. What that means now is from here we can just, in the crossing editor, just go over manually. Well, not manually, but you know what I mean. And this is taking a long time and it is fussy, but to be fair, this is a ridiculously big object we're doing. And there's no guarantee this will actually work first time. We may have to come back and adjust it. Now, the temptation here is to use complete 2, but we can't do that because complete 2 generates integers that go to like the 7th or 8th decimal point. The crossing editor only uses the 3rd decimal point. So the values will be out of sync. So we just have to do it the annoying way. So 18155. So that is nearly 5580. 5580. 52.3. We'll open it up. Now, I don't know if you can see, but the what is Z fighting? But the red one is a slight angle from the blue one. That doesn't matter because this is where it ends. If we was to follow on from this or snap it to the blue one, the next segment, that little join there will mean anything after will be out of sync. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. The join between the two is close enough. As AI traffic is driving over that, you will literally not notice that it's ever so slightly at an angle. So let's go back to here. We'll do this next track. This is all guesswork because we have no reference. Just checking for joins. Yep. What do we say for this? It was like 17, yeah, 17. So let's open that out. this is about 110. So 115 in here. Cool, right. And I know this isn't very interesting, it's quite a boring thing to look at, just experimenting with numbers, but this is just one of those things about map editing. A lot of it is literally as boring as this. So 52,200. 52,200. Knock that back to 51. Oh, hello games, at least I know my chat's working on this new software. Right, and we're doing on this. This one looks like we've used a complete 2. But it doesn't matter because we're not using it as a direct reference. So it's approximately 168 and 420. So we put 168 minus 420. And that is, we know this one's 40 meters long. It needs to line up with that one. Doesn't quite line up with that one, so we can just open this up a bit. Right, that lines up. Good. So that all feeds on. Again, this loop is part of the thing, because it has to be like one continuous track around the entire blah, 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 like that. It's like those if you ever did those little drawing challenges where you have to draw a house with a cross through the middle without your pen lifting the paper. That's essentially what you're doing here. Again, it's hard just to explain why you have to do it this way, but once I go into the crossing editor, hopefully you'll see why. Alright, is that all of the pathing? Nope, because we haven't done this roundabout at all. Great. So that is 30 minus 160. So we do 30, 160. We'll bump this along. Oh, sheep's here. And that is about 35 and 100. So 35, 100. Pull this one back. 29.25. Yeah, it's near enough. Right. And then that one is 1336. 1336. That was 20. Yeah, because that one goes around there. So we'll leave that there for now. This one is approximately whatever. We'll just eyeball it. So this used to be 20. And so we're doing 35, 272. 35. Increase the light for that. This needs to line up with that spline, and it needs to do it perfectly, or as perfectly as we can get it anyway. I just realised there's one now we haven't done. Oh god. So we'll get rid of this, we don't need that. And get rid of that, because we don't need that. And we'll get rid of that, because we don't need that. open this up. Oh, and by the way, I won't be saying anything out loud that's particularly useful, so you may as well just mute the stream if you want. That looks like it lines up near enough okay. How does this line up? Yep. Near enough, it looks like. Just a tiny bit in. Oh, bugger. Yeah, lines up perfectly. $20.70, and that is 22.5 and minus 16. Actually, if we like so. So basically, I know there's no join here for this path to go onto, but we'll just sort that in the crossing editor. So ideally what we need is for one to come off here, so those can go to it, but then also so that these can get to that. So what I need to do is unparent that, just move that somewhere else for now. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Don't need that. So there's no reason for a path to come over to here, because this only feeds into this right hand lane, which basically means that's a U-turn. So you'll only ever need to go from here into the right hand lane if you're doing a U-turn, so we're not going to bother with that as a path. Lots of thinking ahead you have to do. What I'm actually going to do, the opportunity's presented itself, is just do that, attach it onto this one. It will mean that AI traffic can technically then do a U-turn, but that's not the end of the world. So what is the point in that right hand lane? At this particular point, from here you'd jump into the right hand lane to go. From here you'd go into the right hand lane. Oh, for fuck's sake! Round to the zoo. So what does this lane here serve a purpose for? So if you, that only feeds round to there. So this right hand lane is pretty much useless. It only serves traffic going from here to the zoo. Yeah, whatever. It's there. So this needs to line up nicely, so we'll get rid of these. Oh, it's Louise. Right. I am doing essentially spreadsheets. This isn't very interesting in the slightest. And I know that the spacing for this is 2 meters. So we've got minus 70, minus 16, minus 70. That doesn't look right. I need to think about this. That needs to join onto here. So if I just get rid of that for a minute. These aren't going to line up. Yeah, these don't line up perfectly, but it doesn't matter so much. But I do want them to line up as closely as I can. So you can see here, there's a bit of a gap there and not there. So it needs to be tightened so that they're level. But if I do that, then obviously they'll be out of joint. So I'll just leave that for now and I'll worry about pathing wise. That's fine. It's just because I'm going to turn these into weathering splines later. So I undelta that. And then we'll do that. So then both flows of traffic can feed around into this lane. Good. Open it out a little bit. Yeah, I have to talk to myself when I'm doing this. There's a lot you have to sort of keep in your head. I fear this junction is going to be too big, because all that white stuff you can see is so far what this invis junction is going to be. So, yeah, I could put hatchings in there, because there is no reason for traffic to go from here into the right-hand lane at this particular point. So this could be hatchings. However, this roundabout is designed in such a way to be a bit of a pain in the ass if you've never driven it before. That's why I put a bit of an unusual layout on it. and why I put a giveaway here, just to confuse people. So if I leave that open, it might, because people, if they're coming out of the zoo and they've got an instruction to turn right over here, they'll probably instinctively go around to this right hand lane and find that they're stuck and end up coming back around here, or they have to cut across. So if I leave it unhatched, it will knacker people up, basically. So I'm basically making this junction a bit of a dickhead on purpose. Once I've done all these splines, you'll be able to have a visual representation of what's in use at the roundabout. And this will go over to here. Okay, we'll unparent that. Stick that over there. Put delta H on this. And then that is 20. Now one is 36. So we'll do 20. We'll do 36. Needs to be increased in length. Just a tiny bit off there. No, that was fine. Right. Hopefully this meets up nicely. It does not. That's rather annoying. There. So this needs to come over still a bit more. Still doesn't meet exactly right. Ah, it doesn't matter, sod it. Close enough, you won't notice that. Oh yeah, still one more to do. Is there, or is there another one again? I think that's it. Apart from that one down the bottom there. Yeah. So got one more path to do. And then we can go into the crossing editor. So that's minus 98, so we'll do minus 100 here. And this one, that's 22, so we'll do minus 25 for this, I think. Right, nowhere near. And there's literally no reason for traffic to go from here over to that right hand lane, because the only way they can go from there is to do a 270. But again, we're just going to leave that as it is. Right, this should be the last one. Right, so all originating from this point here it just goes around and 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 around. And because I've only used 2 or 3 decimal points, it should all be in sync. So by the time it gets back around to the end, it should all line up perfectly. Hopefully I've done this so that I can put this in a crossing editor and it will come out first time. It won't, but you know. So how am I going to do this? Right, so we'll just open a crossing editor. We'll just get any old one, and what we call it is Rodwick East. And we'll just delete all of these. Right, so we'll set a new path with a width of 1. Now what you have to do is flick backwards and forwards between this, 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 and this, this, and this. So I've got this on my second monitor, but I'll keep it here so you can see what I'm doing. As we do these, we will convert them so we can see how far through we got. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say once we finish this. So as you can see, this section is completely unused, this bit of roadway, but we'll leave it like that just to confuse people. So we need the weathering spline, which is what's it called? Lane darkness centered, and that is number 46. So 51625. So we'll do 51625. Go back, change that to number 46, which is too low. Fantastic. Okay, so that's 0.19, so we'll just have to remember that. And 73.4 and 133.5. 73.4 minus 133.5. I believe that's correct. Yeah, and we'll change that to 46. 9, that's nice and easy. Oh, no, 9. Go back here. Change that to number 46. 83.2 and 206. 83.2. 206, and we'll change that to number 46. You can just select a spline from this list by typing in a number, so you just click and then just type in the number. If your frame rate's too low, it won't work too well though. Right, 166. Oh, this is going to be difficult to remember, so I'll just cheat copy that. So 166. The only problem with doing it this way is if you forget something, like if we had one that's supposed to go in here and you forget about it, by the time you get back to the end, everything's going to be completely out of sync and you basically have to start from scratch. So you just have to be careful. So change that to 46. So that's why I'm converting these splines back down into this sort of dark patch spline, just so I know where I'm at, so I don't miss anything. And this one is 40.131. So 40.131, and it's straight. Oop. Like so. And we'll convert that back to 46. And this one is going to be deleted later, but it's 7 meters in radius. So we'll leave that as it is because we don't need to convert it. We'll be deleting it later. That's 10 meters long. And back here, we can convert that one. It's chained off that one, so we'll lift this one up. Okay. 200, 502. Nice, easy one to remember. 200, 502. And that one. Ah, why has it done that? Okay. This shouldn't happen. Okay, so basically with the render order, because this has got transparency on it, for some reason all the tarmac textures underneath were placed first with these placed second, so it should display as we've done it here. So I've got no idea why it's showing why it's cutting through the spline underneath. That shouldn't happen. However, we do have a workaround for this situation, which is use one without transparency. Doesn't look as good, but you know, whatever. Lane darken at not alpha. There we go. Cheat. Like I said, it doesn't look quite as good, but it doesn't interact with anything else, so it should be fine. We just have to bear that in mind. I'm not really sure why that happened. Maybe it's because it's 200 meters long, went over 2 tiles, I don't know. So 50 minus 150 for this next one. 50 minus 150. Hopefully this one will convert over to 46. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not really sure why that's happened. I prefer using the alpha ones because as you can see the join there. I think that just needs, that's just a texture issue with a different scale or something. Right, 29, 29. Nice easy one. 29 minus 29. And it's always best to do this in one go, rather than save, exit, come back and do it later, so you remember which order you did everything in. 20. Oh, nearly forgot to change this. So we got 2250. 2250. And as we're going, we're looking in the crossing editor, and the whole time we're in the crossing editor, we're looking and thinking, does this look more or less right? And if it looks like it's not right, we know there might be a problem, and to go back and just double check our working to make sure we've not forgotten anything before it gets too bad. Right, 27.8. And 17.25. It's a lot of numbers you have to remember, because I have to remember this is 19 centimeters. Okay, and this one is 50.5 and 570. 50.5, 570. Is it minus? Yeah, it's minus 570. That was close. So yeah, if you're not very good with numbers, this may not be the thing for you. As you can see, there's some Z fighting there because of the tarmac splines I've used underneath. We'll fix that later. I think that comes off this one, doesn't it? Which one does it come off? There we go. Just drop that down by half a centimetre. That should fix that Z fighting issue. Yeah. Right. 18 minus 155. Hello, Jack. 18. And 5203 and 579. Five, 7, 9. Right. This doesn't look right to me, because those should be lined up perfectly. Bollocks. Fuck. Right. So something's not gone right. Why are they not in alignment? Right, so before we go any further, I'm going to save that. and then we're going to put the object in and see at what point it started to go out of sync, because there's probably a path segment I've forgotten about. Shouldn't be, but there's no other reason other than I've made a mistake. So in this, and it was Rodwick East, wasn't it? Where is it? East. Oh, and I forgot to change that, doesn't matter. What? Why is that? Oh my god. Why is that trying to... Okay, never mind. Why is it being weird? Why wouldn't it snap? Oh, you dickhead. It's because you never fucking saved it. Right. I never saved it in a crossing editor. Right, there. So now I have to reload this. Don't need to save that because we've just done it. Oh, it's... I knew this wouldn't work first time. I buggered it up. It's a big junction, you're gonna bugger these things up. Unfortunately, OMSI takes about 20 days to start to load. And I've got 20 new messages. Oh, go away. Right. Right, while this is loading, I'll pour myself a drink. No idea why the editor takes so much longer to load compared to OMSI, considering it's loading literally the same thing. Right, so we go back and do that again. Invis, and it was Rodwick East. There we go. Now, straight away we can see what I've done wrong. So, oh, fucking hell. The first segment, literally the first one I've done wrong, because as you can see it curves around to the left. Should have curved around to the right. All of this is wrong because I forgot to put a minus in front of it. So basically, I have to do that all over again. Oh, yes, son of a bitch. Right. Well, we know where I went wrong. So to confirm, this one should be curving to the right, not to the left. So we'll double check that. Yes, it should be over to the right. Why did I put minus 625? You have to go out of your way to do that. So this is 73.4 and minus 133.5. 73.4 minus 155. No, minus 133.5. Yep, that's fine. That was 9. So, no. The good thing about this is because I checked it early, because it didn't look right. So, you know, there's not much I have to do. So I just have to reposition these. Because I can't pick up, grab and snap over to here, I just have to re-enter them. So 83.2 into 06. So 83.206. And that one is 166. and 4173. 417.3. Can't believe I've done that. That's stupid. 4131. 40.31. That is 7. And that is 10. This one is 205.02. I have 200, 502. This one is 50 minus 150. 50 minus 150. 2929. 2250. Oh, can't remember that. 27.8. 27.8. 50.5 and 570. 50.5, 570, get rid of that. 15155. 15 minus 155. And that is, oh, stop that, I'll copy and paste that. 52.03. 52.03. There. Delete. Now this should line up. It doesn't. Oh, for God's sake. Let's find out. So we'll save that, close it, open this, close it, save that. Normally I can do this first time. I don't normally make mistakes on this. Well, the previous one I did first time on the other end, which is basically an identical junction. Like the same roundabout design, I just did it first time and everything lined up, didn't need to tweak, it just went straight in, no problem. So I don't know what's going on with this one, why I keep buggering this one up. Right, so going to traffic rules. Traffic rules. We'll just basically follow it along and just see where it starts to go out of sync. So all the way along here looks absolutely fine. So where does it start to go wrong? Oh, this is going to be difficult to track, isn't it? So it goes wrong here at this point, which is near the end of what we've done so far, which is good. So if we clicky on this one, that tells us 18 and minus 155, so we can cross-reference that to make sure we've done that right. Ah, that's why, because that's, yeah, because I put 15 instead of 18. 8, right. 52.03 and minus 579. 52.03 minus 579. They should line up now. Yeah, they line up. So what we can do to verify, I was lucky it was the second to last one I fucked up. is grab one of these and find. Come on. Oh, here. There. Good. Right. So that was, oh, for God's sake, it's new tile. Near enough. 8.75. So if we go back into here, put 8.75, 180. Yeah, okay. So we're good so far. So apart from that absolute fucking dog's dinner I made of that, we can carry on. So. Next path to do will be this one. So 22. So it's one that was 2250. Just that one. So it's 22.25 and 13.75. I'll copy that so I won't remember that. What did I say? 22.25, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, now we can convert this over to, the number's probably changed. No, it hasn't. 46. And 19. 54.25 and 570. 54.25, 570. 18.5165. 18.565. 52.28 and 600. And this one I know is 2 meters, so we can just do radius minus 2, 180. Yeah, that lines up, that's fine. So this one's good. So what one do we want to do next? We'll do this one. So to start over here, we don't have a reference point, but we know it's 2 meters away from that one. So we just zero everything, and it's 4 meters because it's center to center. 68.5 and 600. So 68.5 and 600. We'll drop these bits below to make it look a bit nicer later. Right, 34.5, 135. 34.5, 135. If there's a faster way to do this, I've not found it yet. 18135. Other than using Blender, but you know, sod that. I'm not learning Blender. 10, 17. 10, 17. 8, 17. 23.15. The problem I have with Blender is every time they update it, they change it. So I've got a video video tutorial series on Steam for Blender, and basically not long after I downloaded it, it was obsolete because all the keyboard shortcuts were wrong because they changed them all, and they keep doing that, so that's why I refuse to do it. 1825 and 46. And it's just such an arsehole of a program as well. Ah, shit, I've got a render order problem here as well. It's weird how it just keeps cropping up in random places. Let's reuse that one. $46.25, $370. And a render order will be wrong on... No, it won't, because, yeah, the invis splines were after, so it should be still fine here. Although, as we can see... we'll fix that later. 30,158. 30 minus 158. Get into the fun stuff later. 36,103. $7,700. Was it minus 700? We need to make sure we do this one right. Yeah, minus 700. Going through all that again. And then that was just 20. Right. 2. Oh yes, we said we'd make it compatible with Altonar to make it simple. We'll do this path, which is the one I did next. So 17. $27.65. Was minus 65, wasn't it? Oh, I'm doubting myself every time now. 21 minus 80. 21 minus 80. Oh, it's just said fine, that's alright. 9.5 minus 40. 9.5 minus 40. $15.523. Just glad I'm not bothering with traffic lights on this. Then we went and did 1239. 960. 960. $19.25. 19.25. 25. -13 minus 25. Oh, I hope this all works. -13 minus 58. $68. Oh, copy that, can't be asked. Okay, it's looking good because this is where the roundabout is. Looks like it lines up, so we should be alright here. A bit of Z fighting. And 20.43. Right, that should line up with that one. It very nearly does perfectly. Making like close enough. Yeah, fine. Okay, we're good so far. Oh, Christ. Tiring. Alright, 23.80. So 23.80. Doesn't look right, but whatever. Probably is. Yeah, no, that's right. $23.17. Yeah, because that's a roundabout. 16.35. 16.35. Oh, it's Magic Toad. Very fascinating stream indeed. 45.13. Unfortunately, it's just something that you need to do when you're map editing. $51,205. 51,205. 168.41. 168.421. Please work. $39.42. 39.42. Right, please work, please work, please work, please work. Looks like it does. Yep, that all lines up. That's good. I can get rid of that one because I don't need that. So far, it's looking like it works fine. So we can get rid of that. And delete that entirely. Done most of the junction now. Just need to do all of that white stuff. So we'll start off over here with one that's 1017. So that's 1017, so it'll be the one after that, which is 1015. 1015. 15120. $26.5 minus 50. $46.5, 46.5 minus 380. $29.25, 160. 29.25 minus 160. I have no idea why that has happened. We'll fix that in a minute. 36,100. 36,100. Ah. Did I? Went to there, I think. Yeah, must have done. 1336. That's next to 70 miles. Probably. Don't know. Whatever. Find out in a minute. Oh, I've got lost. I think this is where we are. 1320. We'll know on the next section if I fucked that up or not. Uh, 6.520. $49.7293. 49.7293. So that goes to there? Yeah. Okay, so that goes all the way to the end. So it's 198. Instead of 2. $20 minus 70. 20 minus 70. And this is where I said we'll split it in the editor. So this is 2215.73. So we'll just create path split. So we'll take the length of this, which is 12. Guesstimate. So I can't be asked to work this out in my head. Take 6.35 is 565. 565. And the next one is 23.3. Copy it. 23.3 and that. $6.1. Minus 15. 50. 1587, 2006. 1587. Delete that. $23.2, $16.7. And then this is the number one where we need to create a split. 21.5, 26.2. 21.5, 26.2. Bugger. Not quite. So that's 36. Uh, 5.8. No, 4.8. Oh, actually, we'll get rid of that for now. Fair enough. That's a render order issue there. No, I see what's going on. This old splines I didn't delete. That's good. So go back to here. It's the one after 12 minus 50. 12 minus 50. So we want 20, 34.5. I keep forgetting all of these. 15.7, 13.5. 15.7, 13.5. 10.7520. And 1344. Right, does that line up? Perfectly. Oh, zoom that back out. Right. So there's one power segment over here I need, so it's a 1 after 1320. Which is this one. And it's 23.5158. 23.5158. Ooh. 15.8. Yeah, 15.8. And we need to create a split. So that's 15.5. Calculator. 15.5. Does that line up? Near enough. So that should just be 4.5, shouldn't it? No, 6.5. So we've just got this one to do. Cool. 55.101. Oh, shite, which one was it? Off that one. $11.35. And then 12.8.16.7. So this one is 49.7. So put that in the calculator ready. Take 18.75. Does that line up? Yes, it does actually. So then we'd add 30.95 to that. So that should be everything now. Yes, it is a zoo. I mean, the layout will change a little bit, but that's mainly what it is. So I'm thinking about just, instead of this being the zoo access road, it's just a normal road that goes off. Then this will be the entrance here, little mini roundabout here, and then the car park in that area, and the coach park, I don't know, there or something, I don't know. And bin this off. But this bit here, I think I'll keep this as it is. I think it looks alright. But it's very much draft quality, as you can see. So if I get rid of all these doobies here, and we save both, so save this, save that, and we'll reload the editor, map editor. We'll see if it all works. Well, I'm going to quickly go to the toilet. I love how City Sky. Right. So we're going to traffic. It should all look super smashing great. These line up perfectly great. This looks great. That looks great. Ooh, ish. Ah, slightly out of kilter there. I do need to adjust this junction cube anyway, because that is going to disappear. This will have to bend around at different angles, so we'll just adjust it in. So I'm not really sure why that's slightly out of kilter, but whatever. It's fixable. That all looks good. I've left that in, I'll have to delete that. And I've left that in, I'll have to delete that. Otherwise, that all looks good. Right, so the next thing we need to do with this is to adjust the path in such a way that traffic gives way on a roundabout correctly. And the way we do it is we cheat. So we just get rid of these helpers. Are there any more? Or was that it? I think that was it. Yeah. So what we do is find out where we want traffic to hold. So we'll just use any old spline. We'll just use this marking from here. We will work out a distance. So from that intersection, 11 meters back is where we want traffic to hold. So 11 meters back from here is where we want it to hold. Ah, I don't know why I did that, because I can't put down a spline here to measure 11 meters. Actually, how can I? Oh yeah, what's 18 take 11? 7. Right. So that is the point at which we want them to give way, and the way we. Right. So it won't just go, oh look, these paths intersect. Well, I'll wait at this joint. It actually waits here, because this is the width of the path. So what we need to do is basically increase the width of this. So now, because that's how wide it is, it will stop at the edge. So it stops at the edge of the intersecting path segment rather than at the previous join. So this works. This is what I do, and this is fine. If there's any other paths, like if there's another path that came around here, like a pedestrian path, the pedestrians would wait, but because there's no other paths, we can do this. If there were other paths, like one that came in here, we'd just like make this like that, and then do another section 10, and then make it normal width, for example. But as it is, we can leave it at that, as that. The only issue with this is when ONZ AI is indicating, it will move over to either direction within its bounds. So through this section, we can't have the AI indicating. Otherwise, what will happen is it will move over like that and then move back in a really odd manner. And I just realised that I'd started off these with the blinkers on no rather than straight. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so that's that one done. It's quite straightforward. So now we do the same over here. Get rid of that. And work out where the whole point for this is. So from this intersection it is 10 meters. So from that intersection 10 meters, so that's 20. So that's 10. Yep, that's fine. So that's where we want. So it's 10 meters from there, so yeah, it's fine. So we want the traffic to stop here. And because we've got two paths, what I'm going to do, I can't cheat this. I'm going to do 3, 20. So I'm going to do what I said earlier, making a short section. 10, 15, 18. And the same here. 3, 12. And then this 3 meter section I'll just make really wide. Bugger. Okay, that's not going to work. I'll just do on the previous section. Right, what's it, 15? Yeah. So this one will just drop back by 3 meters. Yeah. 93. Width 15. 17. 18. Cool. This one. I think that's the. I can see there, so I know there's going to be a join there. So I don't need to make a reference for that. So that's there, basically. So we do the same here. So 27.8. 14 plus 3, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17.8. No, 10.8. Yeah, 10.8. And we'll make this there. Same here. So that's 22.25. Oh. 3. 25. 5. 6.25, and we'll make this wide. So they'll stop a little bit after that drawing, but that's okay. Because a little bit after that drawing just means I'll just stop around about here. If we want to see how well we're doing, just click true width of paths, and that gives you an overview of how you've been doing it. So here's a little bit different because traffic coming from this side gives way, and where's the giveaway point? Giveaway point here. Actually, I'll tell you how we can work this out. Let's just go to traffic view. Yeah. So where these path joins are is where we want them to give way. So what's that? It's 36. So we'll just do 10. 3. Bugger. 16? No. 26? No. 23. 23. There we go. And we'll make the width 10. 12. Okay, so this one will stop back a little bit further than it should do, which is fine. 31.2. Width 15, 17, 18. So because this one and this one overlap each other, it doesn't really matter because they're both going in the same direction, so they're not going to really sort of give way to each other, so that's not an issue. So now we go over here. This one's a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to do this one first. So I need to work out what the giveaway point is over here. The giveaway point over here is Scheisse. We'll just get them to give way 2/3 of the way along that one. Yeah, that'll do. Six 6.5, 3.5, 3, width 10, 9, 8. Yeah, that'll do. Right. Over here, where is the giveaway point? It is about halfway along that, or just a little bit less than halfway along that one. Oh, 15.87. I have to make a note of that, because we'll forget that. 15.87. So what did I say? A little bit under half, so about here. 8. Fuck. 8. 7. 6. Okay. So that leaves 9.87. 9.87. Same with this one. 6. 14. So that's the giveaway point there. So do I add that in half, 8, 9, no. 10, 3, and 6. Increase the width of that. And we'll go back over to here to this bit I wimped out on, because this is going to be pain in the backside. So the giveaway points are quite handily already done for us. There and there. So this one, we'll change that to 10. We'll change that to 8, to 7, 3. What was? A bit risky. 7.5 and 3. Take 7.5, take 3, 8.25. 8.25. We'll increase the width of this to 10. Oh, actually, no. Because these won't stop for that. So actually what I'll do is I'll delete that. I'll just make this a bit shorter. 6, 7.5. Yeah, there we go. So both lanes will stop for them. And this one, Christ, 23.5, 23.5, we'll write that down. Okay, 10, 5, 7, 5, 3, 13. And this can be increased in width to 10. It doesn't interact with that one. So when traffic's coming around, it's going that way. These guys will just go sodger, go around. I could increase the length of that. Yeah, that's what I'll do actually. So that, you know what, I can't be bothered. No, that's fine. Right, so if we go into view, true widths, we'll just make sure we've done all of them. Yeah, yeah, there's nothing else. No, that's all good. Right, so save that. That's everything done in there. Oh, indicators. Right. So, as I said earlier, they always move to the right of bounds when indicating. That's why I've set these to 1 meter wide. The default is 2.5. I set them to 1, so if they are indicating, they don't move over at all. So where do they need to indicate? So indicator states, so you've got blinker. No just means the AI won't change what they have. So for example, if there's a left turn further up here and they're indicating left for it, they will indicate left all the way through these because these are all set to no. If these were set to straight, straight means turn your indicator off. So if we had one for left up here and we set all these to straight, it would be no indicator all the way through. So basically you can use straight to make sure that they don't indicate until at least after that point. So if we set all these to straight just to be on the safe side, then we will know that AI won't swerve all over the roundabout. Straight. So now we need to figure out where we're going to put the indicators. So we do this like, okay, so for example, if we set this to left, so traffic coming here and round to the left, they will indicate left until they get to this point when they're coming from here. But because this one is set to straight, they'll be off until they get to this one, and then they'll indicate left. So these ones will indicate as they get to this point. And the same we will do here. And we'll just do left, so that means they'll be indicating for quite a distance. It doesn't matter. We won't do an exit signal for here because they'll only start to signal at this point, by which point it's too late. None of these need indicators, do they? No. So if we do blinker right here, but then set this one to straight, basically because they indicate for a really long time on approach, so they could be indicating right, potentially here, all the way around. So we set that to straight, they won't start to indicate until this point. And we'll do left on that one, and left on that one. Bit of a last minute indicate, but whatever. This one's a dedicated lane, so we don't need an indicator to go right round here. And I've just realised something I've forgotten to do, so we'll add that in a sec. No indicators required down there. No exit signal here because of how late it is, same as that one. Okay, so one thing I've forgotten to do is connect these up. So if I just set that to like 5 or something, we can complete to this one because I can't be bothered. There we go. And we can set that as blinker left. And we'll set this one to blinker right, blinker right, and then we'll go down here and set this one to straight, so they're not indicating for bloody 10 miles on approach. Actually, no, what we'll do is something no, set this one to straight, so as they come around here, this is the point at which they start to indicate. Oh, this is fantastically boring. Are there any indicators required along here? I don't think so. Obviously, traffic coming from here doesn't have a route to cross over onto this side, but to be quite honest, I don't care. Nah, sod it, we'll give them a path. Print your path. Complete to. Oh, I hate complete to. Right. Please work this time. No, it doesn't like that. Oh, yeah, I know why it doesn't like that. Radius minus 35. I'll show you how to do this. If it starts to do that, what you need to do is get rid of anything that could be interfering with it. So we'll set that to a height of 10. Then we'll try this again. Because it's unsure whether I'm trying to grab this point, in which case it's trying to do a U-turn and come back, or whether I'm trying to get this point. So if it gets confused as to which point it's trying to get to it, it will try and do that weird U-turn thing. So just get the offending segment out the way, complete 2. There you go. Then we can pop this one back down to ground level. So now they have a route through. Blinker left. And we could give these guys a way to get onto that path. Shall we do that? Let's see. Where even are we? There. So we can do it so they go from here. It'll be a very lazy sort of thing like that, but we'll give them a path to do that. Sod it. Create new path. Where's my 700? Where's 1,000 maybe? And we'll bring it back to. Oh. We'll do just so we don't mess around again. Just do it this way. So they will very lazily amble over to the outside lane. As you can see, they'll just sort of go straight ahead, as it were. So from this point, it will just go like that, just lazily over to there. Right. So in theory, that should be it. So if we save that for a final time. We'll close it. I'm feeling lucky. We'll open this, save it, reopen it, and it should all be good. Oh, big stretch. Oh, excuse me. What takes so long to initiate? It's not even loading. It's just messing around. Right, traffic rules. No, I'm doing alright. Just messing around with junctions. Right, so now we need to set the rules. Should be straightforward enough. On roundabouts I don't bother with higher priority, I just do lower. Oh, that is complete. Yeah, that's right. Like that. Lower. Lower. That should be good. Right, I'll just set the speed limit. Then we can have a look and see how it performs. So, 64 kilometers an hour, because this is in kilometers an hour. We'll just set the speeds. of course, if you mess this up, you can just hold shift. Holding shift and clicking undoes it. Yeah, and I appreciate that if anyone doesn't know how to create an invis junction roundabout and they've watched this, they won't really be any the wiser. I suppose at some point I'll just have to do like a text tutorial. So, right, I'll just grab some bits over here for them to spawn onto. Yeah, that's fine. It's just for something for them to spawn onto. Come on. Then once this is confirmed as working, then we can start to work on the scenery. So all in all, so far this has taken me 2.5 hours. For something in city skylines, you can do automatically. So that just needs a feed in. Right, we'll save that. We'll go into OMSI and we'll see how the traffic performs. I know I will not be doing any driving because that's just a great way to lose a load of time. Right. Where is it? OMSI. Play. This is just the reference I'm using for something. It's a wrong window in any case. Right. Just do that. Can't believe it's going dark outside already. Oh, come on. I don't understand why it just takes so bloody long to do this. Yeah, that's, I mean, a running... Oh, look, these are the new... Actually, what I'll have to do is... I should probably be able to hear me. So, these are the new seafront style bus shelters we've got. They're quite nice, aren't they? Very pretty. Yeah, it's a bit of a running joke about the amount of times I've changed stuff in this map. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you're not on a deadline to release a map. You're not contracted to Aerosoft or anyone like that. So, you know, it takes however long it takes. Oh, tell you what is missing. AI traffic. It should spawn in. Yeah, it's taking ages, so that means they're spawning in. There we go. Alright. Oh, one conundrum I did have is how to get this rail line to work. Come on. So it needs to go in underneath the road, but that means I have to push the road quite high up. Which does change the aesthetic of the road somewhat, but I'm thinking, yeah, this will give you a bit of a vantage point to look out, and also when we put the rail bridge underneath there, that would be a good photo opportunity. Rail bridge going under, bus going over the top, you know. So, right, so okay, so immediately we have a problem. The AI is doing AI things. We'll just observe it for a minute, because it might have just been because we just loaded the tile. So when you immediately load a tile, it is a bit unsure. No, you see that Peugeot stopping there for no reason. So that needs looking at. Okay, so they're stopping here for no reason. That one was a bit unsure. Okay, so they're all stopping. Have I done the priorities wrong? Did I accidentally click high instead of low? Because that's what it feels like. Yeah, because they're all stopping. Yeah, I think I've just done the priorities wrong. I'll just observe a little bit more. The problem I've got is with this enhanced environment thing, that AI traffic always has their bloody headlights on. Okay, so they're stopping correctly now over there. Although they, this one is waiting. Right, let's just go back into the editor and just double check that I've done that correctly. Because I may need to put some high priorities on. So I normally only put low priority for the traffic that's waiting, but I might need to sort of reinforce it with the high priority. And spend the whole time looking at my desktop at this rate. What I'll do is I'll just check the priorities in this and then I'll move on. I won't spend too long debugging it. OMSI traffic not giving way correctly, that's something for beta, which is ages away anyway, so I don't really need to worry about it as long as I go in the right way and the paths are correct. The priorities, you know, not being a bit right is by the by. Just tab. Oh yeah, I'll show this again, so I showed it at the start of the stream. So this is a diagram view of where are we? Rodwick Down. Yeah, Rodwick Down. So the black is the route as it is, going along the seafront between Paynton and Stoneleigh. And you've got the crossroads here in the town centre. So I'm adding a bypass road around town. There is now a train station with a branch line that goes off. This is where we just were. This is what we was pathing up just now here. So the 12 will go through, the 122 will go into the zoo, down through like the beach and everything like that. Right, so let's double check the priorities to make sure they are correct. So lower priority. So because that's lower priority to cross here, maybe it's still in low priority mode when it gets over to there. So perhaps we'll swap these around. Instead have that as a higher priority. Let's see how that goes. It might be because it's going between low priority and higher priority in too short a distance, possibly. We'll see what effect that has later. But like I said, for now we won't worry too much about it. Okay, so we'll get rid of these that we just used to spawn the traffic in with, because we don't need them. Put the other ones up here, didn't I? Yeah. So, shall we just do a bit of scenery? So the next thing I want to work on is to get the holiday park rebuilt. I must have changed the height of the terrain. Yes, I did. Okay. Where's 125? I want to get that rebuilt, but I don't want that to be on the same video. So what I would do probably is I cannot remember for the life of me how high that's supposed to be. I think that's about it. So what I'll probably do is oh yeah, new object. This is part of a modular set, so I can increase the width, height, length, whatever. I quickly knocked together an invis junction for that, so the traffic should give way and everything as they should. So what I think I'll do is stop the stream for a short while I have a break, something to eat. And come back later, and then it'll be a separate video, so that I can title this one traffic pathing, and then the next one after the break I can title holiday park. So in the like the video list on the YouTube page, it will make a bit more sense. So just to kill a little bit of time, so what I'll do is I'll take about 45 minutes. So if I go off at 5:30, I'll come back at 5:15. And that'll give everyone else a chance to have something to eat as well, because I'd imagine people will be having their dinner around about then. So we'll just have a quick fly through. So I showed you all this earlier, but I'll show you it again for those people who haven't seen so far. Or shall I drive it? You know what? It's my wheel. My wheel is not plugged in, so I won't drive it. Yeah. So this is the centre of town. It might look vaguely familiar. I've rebuilt the junction using the old one as a template to try and keep it as much similar as I can, but then things like the buildings that were over here were terrible, so I pulled them out, replaced them with similar ones. Those I've kept the same. This is a new train station that we have. The depot that was here, no one ever took use of it, so I've sort of activated it, I suppose you'd call it. So that's another depot that we've got. There's depots all over the place as it goes. Yeah, so that's the train station. Got a new garage building here, new primary school building here. So behind us, where we just was, what we were seeing was the eastern end of where the bypass meets the main road. We'll go over to the other side now to see where the bypass will land on the other side of town. And yeah, I've turned VODs on, so it should be safe for you to watch later, in theory, if it all works. So this is where the bypass reconnects back on the other side of town. So that's the main route. So that's the main route through as you drive at the moment. So there'll be a big loop that goes around like that. This way it joins back on. Very similar junction. I'm not too sure about this. I might downscale it to be like a smaller scale sort of thing. But yeah, the problem I had before is you came off like this dual carriageway, and you just went straight into like a little residential road. But in that junction that was there before Blue Water Cove was a bit bodgy. So I wanted this roundabout, and it's more of a transition to help you step down to a residential road, so it makes more of a convincing thing rather than just go dual carriageway, this road. It transitions through a junction. This is just mild enhancements. I don't know why tiles take so long to load in the editor. Just increase the speed limit to NSL. This scenery, not 100% with it. It's a little bit closed in. I'll just open it up, get rid of some of the trees. I forgot some. Why? It's doing the exact same thing it does in the editor as it does in the main game. So why did the tiles take so long to load in the editor? I have no idea. Yeah, so you go along the top. There's just a bit more scenery, but it's a bit closed off, a bit penned in here. So I might just back the trees down, make it feel a bit more open, a bit more countryside. And again, this is a national speed limit dual carriageway. And before, what happened was it was a dual carriageway, and then it just went down onto like a signalised crossroads, and it was not very nice. It didn't even work well. So instead of a signalised crossroads, we now have this very European style setup, sort of thing you get on the A303, with horrendously short entry slips, which would be fantastic when you come up this very steep, tight hill, and then you have to try and lug an MMC onto NSL traffic. It's the sort of thing you get on the A38. So you come off that onto this. Again, it's all about transitions. So rather than coming off that dual carriageway, round that crossroads, and then straight down into an old village street, it transitions down. So you've got a bit more of a light industrial thing at the top of town. Premier Inn on the right there. Through a residential area. To this set of traffic lights, where it then goes from, because that's like a primary residential road, down to more of a secondary. So it's, again, it's transitioning, it's stepping dual rather than going from a big dual carriageway to a little road. It now transitions down through a more arterial route to get to this. This is just a square which you go around. It's one way, and on this corner, AI doesn't always work this way 100% of the time, but 95% of the time it stops here. If you're approaching in a bus or a lorry, it will give you a chance to swing out. And also buses and lorries, AI will swing out as they go around as well. And you'll recognise this. So we've stepped down several times in order to get to this point, because before you just went straight off a dual carriageway and then you was on this, and I didn't quite like it, felt a bit jarring. So now you step down a few sort of layers of roads to get to this point. And from here it's just mild touches, like I've swapped out the MR building for a nicer one here, and I swapped out the humped crossing for a level 1. And the buildings are slightly changed to make it just a bit nicer. So before you would turn right, go through the bus gate, and then that was the bus station. I've changed it so there's now a one-way system, so it all goes clockwise around this block. So instead of turning right, you go straight on, down past the loading bays, past all like what would be pasty shops, I suppose, onto like the other end of the harbour, down here, and then you'll go along past the fish quay. That's what the lorries are there for, because there'll be fishing trucks, past a warehouse, into the bus station, which I just rebuilt, just to make it look a bit nicer. Kingsbridge bus station vibes, very vague. I looked at Kingsbridge bus station, got a few vibes off of it and built this. Doesn't really look like it, but there we go. And I've varied up the buildings a little bit so they're less flat. And there's a bit more depth to them. Then you come back out. And this isn't bus only, this is for all traffic going back out of town this way. And back up the hill. Of course, there's loads of other things in this map to show, but I'm just going to show just this because it's the 12 route I'm working on. You go back here, up onto this horrible slip road. Again, it's all draft quality at the moment. But this is where I'm going with it. So it's not going to be any further changes from what you see in terms of like scale, layout, whatever. It's just going to be polished from now. I mean, at least what I'm showing you is anyway. So if he was on the 122, instead of where you would go normally down there, that's where the tile is going to go. The 122 will take a little bit more of around the houses sort of way. So it'll go into the zoo there, which I showed you earlier. This is the bypass road. It will go straight ahead and then out into the country-ish before it curves back around. We, however, go into the residential area, which is a little bit scaled down compared to how I normally build suburbs. This bit is just a traffic filter. It's like that one in London that van drivers keep smashing into. And then you come out here, and then you'll go down into the holiday park and along the front. So that's where the 122 will go. So yeah, so that was how to badly explain how to path up a junction. And what I will do is I'll stop the stream and I'll come back in about, I don't know, 45 minutes an hour, something like that. So then the separate video's got a separate title. Nice neat divider into two. One, we're going to start working next on the holiday park over there. So I'll be back later and I'll see you soon.